guys, it's Ross Lukeman from Alternative Homes Today, and today I'm here with Dennis Johnson of Natural Spaces Domes, and Dennis is going to tell us a little bit about geodesic domes and why we might want to use one as a home, build one for a home. So welcome, Dennis.
Hello there, Ross.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's fun.
I see that this is your main home that you're in right now.
Yes, it is. It's part of a complex of 7 domes that we have here on the property. I've got 50 acres, and the first dome was built in 1975.
Okay.
And,
wow.
So that was quite a while ago. I've been doing this for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And my company is Natural Spaces Domes. Prior to that, I was the originator and owner of the Big Outdoors People.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1978, I sold that and started Natural Spaces Domes.
And
So,
you guys did domes as well with the other company?
yes, we did.
Okay.
We did several hundred domes with the other company. And then variety of reasons, I won't go into the long story, but basically we formed Natural Spaces Domes to create a different system of dome building,
Okay.
trying to learn what we had to learn in the first 5 years, 6 years.
So it's gone through a few iterations as far as what you guys offer and your components that you manufacture.
Yeah, and we keep changing it. We keep learning from things that our customers have told us. I'm just walking around a little bit here to background on me. I'll switch the camera shortly to show you where I'm going. But
Okay.
the dome has changed, certainly from 1975. So I got into it in 1975 as an architect. I worked for another architectural firm for about 10 years before I started into domes. So I came into it with an architectural background and a building background, as opposed to, at the time, it was very, not to say I wasn't a hippie, but it was very much involved with the hippie movement, if you want to call it that.
Would you say
it wasn't being done the best,
Okay, so kind of a grassroots. So you kind of brought some high tech or higher
very
end
low
design.
tech. When domes started out in the late 60s and early 70s, very low tech. Not a lot of builders into it, not a lot of architects into it. And it was really experimental, kind of fun,
Yeah.
try things and work things out, but definitely needed some, probably I'll say experience, but more than that, it needed some experimentation.
Okay.
So it had to get through those early years, took whatever, 4, 5, 6 years to kind of learn what didn't work. And even at those times, the building science that we have today is a lot more advanced than the building science we had back in the 1970s. Building codes have changed dramatically, so that's a big part of it.
And that was actually one of my questions as far as code. I know you guys use is it standardized lumber and insulation. Are there any code issues, or are code inspectors hip to this type of building, or do they?
Well, it needs to be explained to them, but in reality, the system that we have has been exceeding the code from the standpoint of the energy efficiency, certainly, but just even the building code, the structural efficiency of the dome is quite a bit beyond what the minimum code requirement is.
Okay.
So when they see this structure and they see how it goes together and they see the engineering data and the reports, and we do have a consulting structural engineer that can stamp and sign the plans, that in a lot of places it's required. That's not an issue for us, but it will take a much higher wind load, much higher snow load, and in the earthquakes zones, we can make this thing work in the heaviest earthquake zones.
Wow, that's awesome. what do you guys typically use, say, on your triangular panels that you offer? Do you have different types?
Yes, we do. I just turned the back camera on my iPad here.
Okay.
This dome is done with 18-inch thick walls.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll move over here and kind of show you the thickness of the wall. So there's a wall thickness right there.
Okay. Wow.
And that's an 18-inch thick wall. So the whole dome has 16 inches of insulation.
Wow.
And with that, you've got an R factor of 60 in the walls.
Man.
These
That's
are
pretty
triple
good.
pane windows. So all the windows here are triple pane,
Mm-hmm.
including the windows down below in the riser wall.
Mm-hmm.
These are standard off-the-shelf Marvin windows, but they offer triple pane.
Mm-hmm.
So we're dealing with triple pane and low E and argon gas.
Wow. Okay. So a lot of my readers are interested in possibly building their own structure. Domes can be complex. Are there any things that you recommend people purchase as far as components versus things that they can make themselves?
We're dealing with a metal connection hardware,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bracketing system that we have for our domes. There's a hub and a sleeve and other bolts and nuts that go with that.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're dealing with is that's sort of the minimum purchase. That's going to give you the structural integrity.
Okay.
So now you can cut out your own struts and your own exterior plywood triangles.
Mm-hmm.
We have a construction manual, and you look in there and it'll tell you the exact sizes that you need to deal with for the struts and the panels. They're done out of 3/4 inch plywood on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's hung and groove plywood, so there's a base and a tip because the triangles are bigger than a 4x8 sheet of plywood.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a whole system of building, and we've set it up for a true owner builder, the one that really wants to do his own struts and panels.
Okay. Okay.
And you're going to save a lot of money. You're going to save thousands of dollars doing that yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, we talk about 30 to 40% is what you will save over the retail price of our shell kit.
Okay. Okay.
So,
you just have to have the time, extra time, I guess, to.
you need the time, yeah. We've had people, build a kit over the winter in their double-stall garage. We've had people, I've actually had a couple of people where they go, the amount of money that I'm saving for the amount of hours I'm going to put in, they don't like their job and they don't make enough money. So they're going to quit their job and make more money actually cutting out their own dome.
Yeah.
And building their own dome, building their own structure, as opposed to hiring somebody.
While they're at work, yeah. That makes sense.
Right. While they're at work trying to make money.
Hating it.
Money. So,
Yeah.
in one case, the guy did that work, but his wife was working, so that really helped.
Okay.
And you have to have some kind of a means of money or a nest egg of money to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the hard part of this thing is really probably the shingling, I'd say.
Okay.
So, and it's part where I'd recommend that you hire that out. We've had people do it.
So in your dome, you have dome workshops, I guess, 2 every summer, I believe I saw.
Yes.
I know you guys erect the dome frame. Do you guys also talk about flashing? I imagine you probably show all the different steps, but is that one of the things you teach? Is the roofing?
It is the roofing. We've got a professional roofer that comes to dome school. We started this just recently. Before that, I was just going through the basics of roofing, and now we've got a guy coming in, and we take I don't know, it's about 3-4 feet of 3-4 triangles. We're building a section of a dome. It's a 36-foot diameter dome, and we are building about a 35-foot or 40-foot long section of it. And with that, you're able to show the shingling, the flashing on the outside, riser walls. We put up the framework. It's about 20 feet high, 3 rows of triangles high.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're installing a window, a skylight. I can't call it a window. It's a skylight.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting in insulation, cutting out 6-foot wide bats. We have a cost construction guide on our website and put the numbers right out there. But what we're dealing with, I'm just kind of showing you square footage wise. We've got a loft up here. This is my wife's office. That's open all the way around. It could be closed in. It could be the 4th bedroom. In our case, it's the 2 bedrooms up and a bath and a office area. So it's standard from what a normal house could have. Yes, we have a large open area here, but the reality is you have the same things in a cathedral ceiling house.
Yeah.
This is a little higher than a cathedral ceiling would be. It's about 30 some feet to the top of the dome. But this area here is normally in a conventional house, your attic. You get all these houses out there, and they've got these 8-12 pitch roofs, or sometimes 12-12 pitch roofs with nothing in them. It's just air, and in our case, we're visually using that space for inside and putting the insulation layer on the outside.
So this siding I see back against the wall there, is that kind of...
This is all spruce. This is Engelmann spruce, but all the lumber that we use in the struts is very high grade, select structural grade southern yellow pine coming out of southern pine plantations. It is FSC certified, so it's been, it's going from a managed forest. And we buy, half a truck, or depends on what we're doing. We're buying quite a bit.
Wow. I'm really enjoying the contrast between the wall paneling and the windows. Just a really interesting structure.
A lot of interesting effects, yeah. And where you're dealing with the windows, these again are triple pane windows I'm talking about, but the wall is 18 inches thick. Back in the middle between the windows, we cut that back just to the 2x8 strut. And then over at the edges, of course, it's the wider 18-inch part of the wall.
Which kind of adds even more visual interest. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the upstairs bedrooms. We built this as a 3-bedroom house. It could have been bigger. The plan certainly could have been made into a 4 or 5-bedroom house.
Actually,
it's bigger. Go ahead.
Now that you say plan, I was thinking, typical houses, you have the blueprints or the plans, and you just build vertical walls wherever the lines are.
Sure.
What does a plan for a geodesic dome look like? Obviously, you're going to have a where everything touches the ground, but as you curve up, is there any kind of drawing for that? Or cross sections?
There's a cross section that we do, and the wall just happens to come up and bump into the dome or meet the dome. There's a little box-like structure that you see coming out, and that's the loft in the bedroom next to us that I call the grandkids' play loft.
Cool.
I'll walk in there. But you're seeing the wall line up here where the dome just meets the dome. And there's a trim strip. I'll focus in here a little bit and just show you. There's just a trim strip right on the wall that covers the edge of the sheetrock to make it nice. But that's all it is that the sheetrock bumps up against there. There's actually a ledger that's put over that interior panel to nail the sheetrock to. And then just take this batten strip and cover that joint at that point.
So it looks like there's a lot of... This is actually kind of a house I imagined as a kid, but it looks like there's a lot of different levels. You mentioned the grandkids' loft. A lot of multi-level interest going on here.
There always is in a dome. You've always got this 3-dimensional space. So this is the other bedroom we have. I'll show you the exit windows in a moment here, but This goes around.
Hmm.
So there's the closet and there's the door. But we've got a ladder. This goes up to the loft area.
Wow.
So this is a loft that has 2 single beds up there. And I got to make a railing, and I don't do anything normal here, so that's the railing.
I guess we probably already covered most of this, but you got 2 dome tours a year, 2 dome workshops a year, and you offer pretty much every component you would need if they would like to purchase them. You can purchase these as a kit, right?
Right. We're selling the dome shell kit, which is the riser wall system. That in this case, I've got a 3-foot high riser wall over here. That varies from 2.5 feet to 3 feet to, we usually at 4 feet, we stop. So we sell the shell kit, which is the riser wall, the struts, and the exterior triangle panels, all pre-cut, color-coded, labeled. We sell the wide bat insulation, 4-foot, 6-foot, and 8-foot wide bats that are 6-inch, 8-inch, or 9.5 inches thick, and then we double them up. We sell the interior triangle panels out of spruce or other materials. They are 1-piece triangles when they come to you.
Wow.
So you put them up triangle by triangle. And then we sell the batten strips. There's a batten strip that covers the joint of the panel. So that batten strip we sell. And then there's a round hubcap. I mean, what we're really dealing with is this component right here. This is the aluminum hub.
Okay.
And then there's a steel sleeve that we have. And this is, these are the 2 components that lock together.
Okay. Huh.
And show them like that. And then there's a pin that gets pounded together, pounded in place right here. So here's one here that's attached to a 2x6. So we're dealing with a 2x6 added on. We normally don't do 2x6. This is what we do for a screen house or something, or a garage. We're dealing with 2x8s.
Okay.
But I have this long strut. I just wanted to show you. This is a very short strut, actually. I shouldn't say a long strut. It's a very short strut. But this is how that's connected. We are creating the angle by angling the sleeve and drilling the holes at a certain pattern. These are straight cuts on the end of the lumber. So there's no angle cut in this strut.
Okay.
It's a straight cut.
So that makes it easier, or just
much easier to cut this.
Yeah.
And then the angle is created by the angle that you tilt this at.
Now, is there a jig that you would use to quickly put that angle, set it up, and drill those holes?
Yes.
Okay.
So when we're doing it, we've got a shop, and we drill 4 holes at one time. We have a 4-spindle drill press that drills 4 holes at one time, not a single hole in each one. So we provide templates for that when an individual is buying these components, the metal brackets. They're doing it, they're cutting the struts themselves. We give them a template for drilling the hole patterns.
Okay.
One of the things I've got here, this is a super wall where there's a 2x8 and a 2x4 and a plywood gusset that holds the 2x8 and the 2x4 together.
And are those pieces of plywood spaced every so often?
About 2 feet, 3 feet apart.
Okay.
And these are cut from the scrap plywood that we get when we're cutting out of a 4x8 sheet of plywood. Get these right triangle pieces on the ends. And with that, we cut this up into what we call 8-inch wide gussets. Use them to attach this. So then we can vary this. This one is set up for 18 inches.
Okay.
So outside, right here, to the inside is 18 inches. And we offer 12 inches, 15 inches, 18 inches, 21, and 24-inch thick wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're looking at R values that range from about an R40, which we consider to be a minimum anywhere in the country,
Hmm.
to about an R80.
Wow.
And we're talking 24-inch walls.
Man, I've
Yeah,
studied these domes in architecture school, but I haven't gotten this close to them before. So it's interesting to get into the intricacies of how they're put together and the systems. I saw domes from Bucky Fuller, and it's just to see where they've how far they've come and the components and everything. It's neat. So
yeah. This has been what I've been doing for over 40 years, and
hmm
I'm going to be continuing this for the rest of however long I live. And
hmm
I'm sold from that standpoint. But my
hmm
background is architecture, and I like working with the dome. I'm not
hmm
restricted by it. We do custom plans for almost every dome that we do,
hmm
and that you got to create something that works for that customer, that works for the land that he's on, and all that stuff. And I enjoy it.
hmm
So
Yeah, it seems like
boring.
it. Huh?
It's not boring.
Not boring. Yeah,
Oh,
seems interesting.
yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I appreciate again your time and on a Saturday, uh, and I'll be in touch.
Very good.
So,
All right.
all right. I'll talk to you
Thank you
soon.
very much, Russ.
Thanks, Dennis.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Bye.